Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing my 9 best tips for traveling alone in Cape Town, South Africa. I recently got back from a week-long trip in Cape Town and learned a few things along the way that I want to share with you. My first tip is to use Uber to get around from place to place. I found that Ubers were widely available. The app is of course easy to use and it's more affordable than taking the local taxis. And to follow that up, my second tip is do not walk around from place to place. Now you can walk around in local neighborhoods. Some of those are perfectly safe, but I don't recommend walking around from one attraction to another because you don't know which neighborhoods you're going to be walking through, and some areas of the city really aren't safe for tourists. And to be honest with you, I actually made this mistake myself. I decided to walk from a museum back to my hotel at the waterfront, and I really didn't feel safe once I got started and wished I had actually called an Uber. So just be mindful of that when you're visiting the city. My third tip for traveling alone in Cape Town is to book your tickets for the Robben Island tour in advance. This is another mistake that I made. I waited till the last minute to book my ticket, and most of the dates and times were sold out. So I recommend booking this in advance so you can plan which day you want to take the tour. If you're interested, I included a link in the description box down below where you can book your tour. And my fourth tip for traveling alone in Cape Town is to book your Robben Island tour and visit the local museums early on in your trip. You'll find that as you start learning about the history of South Africa and the history of Cape Town, that you'll be able to see the impact of that history on the city as you're out exploring for the first time. I think that having a little extra knowledge about the history of Cape Town will give you better perspective as you explore the city throughout your visit. My fifth tip for traveling alone in Cape Town is to book your accommodations in Camps Bay. This is a local beachside neighborhood that has lots of cute cafes and trendy bars. It's pretty safe to walk around here during the day, so if you book your accommodations here, you'll be able to walk around to grab a drink or get something to eat at one of the local cafes. And this is just a fun neighborhood to hang out in. It's a bit more quiet and peaceful than some of the other neighborhoods, plus it's a bonus that you'll find great food nearby. My sixth tip for planning your visit to Cape Town is to visit Boulders Beach and Cape Point in the same day. Now they're both in the same direction. Boulders Beach is about 45 minutes from the Cape Town City Center, and Cape Point is about another 30 minutes further than that. And it's easier to see both of them in the same day so that you're not wasting so much travel time. You can book a tour to see both of these spots in the same day, or if you're renting a car, you can just make the drive on your own. My seventh tip for your Cape Town solo trip is to check the weather before visiting Lion's Head or Table Mountain. Both of these destinations have high elevation, so if it is foggy or rainy and cloudy, you may not get the views that you were hoping for. Plus, it can be a little bit dangerous to be climbing Lion's Head in bad weather. And to follow that, book your ticket for Table Mountain in advance. You'll also want to book the earliest time possible, either 8 or 8:30 depending on the season, but the lines for the Table Mountain cable car can get up to 3 hours long, and believe me, you do not want to have to wait in that line. And finally, my last tip for traveling alone in Cape Town is to not miss out on the wine tasting. Now, if you're traveling solo and you only feel comfortable visiting one winery, go to Constantia Glen. You can take an Uber there. It's about a 20-minute drive, and the Ubers do go there. They'll pick you up and drop you off, but it's just a beautiful winery. They have all these glass windows so you can see the vineyards outside. They also have great food, and of course the wine is delicious too, but I recommend you don't miss out on this experience while you're in Cape Town. If you're still here, thanks so much for watching. See you next week.